Good morning, beloveds. I'm not awake, and I have been up, been to the gym, and taken a shower, and I'm still not awake. But it is what it is. All right. It is November 10th. Our title is Every Atom of My Being is Animated by the Divine Perfection. Our quote is the Tao cannot be heard. What can be heard is not it. The Tao cannot be seen. What can be seen is not it. And that's the texts of Taoism. The Chinese say that the Tao, meaning spirit, produces everything, nourishes everything, maintains everything. It spreads itself over everything. It flows through everything and is in all things. Indeed, being all that is, there can be nothing outside it. There is a mystical presence which pervades the universe, and this presence, welling up in consciousness, evermore proclaims itself as the source and root of all. The enlightened of the ages have said that it is this God within that recognizes itself in everything. I know that there is one mind, and that mind is God, and that mind is my mind. So also there is one body, that body is spiritual, and that body is my body. Every organ, every function, every action and reaction of my body is in harmony with the divine creative spirit. I have both the mind of Christ and the body of God. I could not ask for more, and greater could not be given. I now seek to realize the spiritual significance of the one mind and the one body. Every function, organ, and cell of my body responds to the magnetic pull of wholeness, of unlimited energy, of perfect life. As my thoughts are so put in order, all fear, doubt, and uncertainty are banished into nothingness. I live in the one mind and act through the one body in accord with the divine harmony, perfection, and poise. Every organ of my body moves in accord with perfect harmony. The divine circulates through me automatically, spontaneously, and perfectly. Every atom of my being is animated by the divine perfection. All right, so I now seek to realize the spiritual significance of the one mind and the one body. And that's what we do all the time. And that is the purpose of spiritual practice. The purpose of spiritual practice is to set aside that time to go to that place where nothing has ever been wrong, that place where we meet the unfiltered God, to realize that there's nothing but spirit, there's nothing but God, that everything that we see, everything that we are is made of that one substance. It's an infinite variety. So it's not about uniformity. It's an infinite variety of one substance. It's one mind. And our job is to realize that. And our job is to act like that. Because once we make the realization, once we realize, okay, there's one, and we're all a part of that, then we might make different choices. Now, I say might because the choices that you're making might already treat this body that you wear and the world around you as the one mind, the one body. You might treat everything as spirit already. But if you don't, and you now go into spiritual practice every day and make that realization, it is going to change the way you interact with the world. It is going to change the way you interact with yourself. It's going to change the way you treat your body because you realize that everything's sacred. Everything is sacred. And you start acting so. And it doesn't mean that we're going to act like we do when we go into big fancy churches. Because, you go into those huge churches and you whisper. And you can't help it. It's human nature. You walk into a cathedral and you start whispering. Because you don't want to disturb the sacred. It means that you're still going to live your life. And you're going to live it out. And you're going to live it proud. And you're going to live it loud. But you're going to treat everything as sacred, and you're so, and I don't know how to explain that outside of, you'll care a little bit more, you'll have a little bit more empathy, and you will make different choices. You will look to the benefit of the many. You will look to the benefit of the many, and you will also look to the harm none. It, and that's the purpose of spiritual practice. That is the purpose of spiritual practice, to realize that the mind that we are using is part of the one mind, that we have access to absolutely everything we need if we're willing and accepting, and that this body is made of sacred stuff and capable of so much more than we ask of it. And what do I mean by that? What do I mean by more than we ask of it? Because it doesn't have to fall prey to the race consciousness. It can do amazing things with our immune system, with our, I dare I use the word healing. It can do that because it's made of God stuff. And so if we're willing to accept that, then, and that is mind and body healing. I don't want to leave the mind out because, it's been a tough year and a half. And so some of us, our minds are a little, and so, that's still God's stuff. That's still God's stuff. She may be just, but no, you can see her. Okay. I was like, Rita's just in my face. So, all right. So every atom of my being is animated by the divine perfection. There is nowhere God is not. The Tao cannot be heard. What can be heard is not it. The Tao cannot be seen. What can be seen is not it. And I think what that means is not to get caught up in the, that's not all of it. That's not all of it. Like, what you see is made of it, but it is not it. If that makes sense. It's not all of it. Because everything around you is it. So, yeah. It's the texts of Taoism, and they're the ones who have the koans. And if you ever read a koan, they are designed to make your brain hurt. And it's Kone. It's a type of story. It's a type of lesson. So the Chinese say that the Tao, in parentheses, is meaning spirit, close parentheses, produces everything, nourishes everything, and maintains everything. Now, after this, for the rest of this paragraph, anytime I say it, that's a capital letter. So capital I. It spreads itself over everything. It flows through everything and is in all things. There is nowhere God is not. There is nowhere God is not. Indeed, being all that there is, there can be nothing outside of it. Which is one of the reasons why God doesn't judge. Spirit doesn't judge because there's nothing outside of spirit for spirit to compare it against, There is a mystical presence which pervades the universe, and this presence, welling up in consciousness, which is the point of spiritual practice, to recognize it, because it's always there. It's always welling up in our consciousness, but it's about us being willing to recognize what it is that's coming up in our consciousness. Evermore proclaims itself as the source and root of all. And we all have the same source, and we all have the same root. The enlightened of the ages have said that it is this God within that recognizes itself in everything. Jesse likes to say the phrase Jove nods to Jove. When we recognize each other as spiritual beings, it's like you meet somebody and you go, that's a beloved child of God. That's God recognizing God in another being. And when we do that, when we look at each other and see the beloved child of God looking back at us, and when we see God looking back at us when we look at each other and when we look in our own eyes, it makes us stand up a little straighter. It makes us maybe be a little more gentle. Maybe. I know that there is one mind, and that mind is God, and that mind is my mind. So also there is one mind. That body is spiritual, and that body is my body. Again, that's the point of spiritual practice, to realize that, to recognize that, to, dare I say, own that, to know that this is the truth of you. Every organ, every function, every action and reaction of my body is in harmony with the divine creative spirit. And that is a power statement, especially if things aren't working that way. It's like, if your body's not quite following up to that, there is a mantra statement for you. It's like, okay, this is the truth of me, and I'm going to say it until I believe it. I'm going to say it until I believe it, because God can do for us what God can do through us, but we have to be willing and accepting. We have to recognize it. So that's one of those power statements that's like, all right, I have both the mind of Christ and the body of God. I could not ask for more, and greater could not be given, because that's it. I have access to the divine mind, and the body I use is made of sacred stuff and will respond to my thoughts. And if my thoughts are in harmony to the divine, all right, the response is going to be that much better. I now seek to realize the spiritual significance of the one mind and the one body. Every function, every organ and cell of my body responds to the magnetic pull of wholeness, of unlimited energy, of perfect life. The magnetic pull, meaning as I recognize who I am, as you recognize who you are, as you recognize what you're made of, your body is going to naturally come into alignment. The magnetic pull. As my thoughts are so put in order, all fear, doubt, and uncertainty are banished into nothingness. When I know that I am a beloved child of God, that I know that I have nothing to fear no matter what happens around me. Because there's a part of me that nothing in the material world can touch. There's a part of you that nothing in the material world can touch. That's that divine spark that animates you. That divine splinter that is the core of who you really are. The rest of this is all dressing. I live in the one mind and act through the one body in accord with divine harmony, perfection, and poise. Power statement, mantra statement. Take that into your treatment. Write it on your mirror if this is what you need to see every morning, but when you get up first thing in the morning. Whose body is this? It's yours, but it's animated by spirit. It was made by spirit for you, and animated by spirit for you. It can do so much more. But everything that you're doing is enough. Every organ of my body, every organ of my body moves in accord with perfect harmony. The divine circulates through me automatically. There is nothing I have to do. The divine automatically circulates through me. It is spontaneous, and it does it automatically, spontaneously, and perfectly. It's always acting. There is nothing I have to do to activate the divine within me. And spontaneously means that in that moment, when you are not expecting it, but when you really need it, the divine will give you the juice that you need to do what it is that you are doing. Mind and body. Every atom of my being is being animated by the divine perfection. There is nowhere that God is not, including the depth of your cells. The depth of your cells. All right. So the mission, should we choose to accept it today, is to seek to realize the spiritual significance of the one mind and the one body. To seek to know the unification. To seek to know the mind that you use, the body that you wear, are the same body that God wears and the same mind that God uses. That's the mission. Absolutely the mission. That is the point of spiritual practice. It is to come into unity, into harmony, into knowing who you are and expanding what you think you're capable of in mind, in body, in speech, in, vision, out in the world. We are here to experience. We are here to do. We are here to live. We are here to be. And we can do all of that more effectively, more efficiently, more lovingly when we know who we are. And who we are beloved children of God, in whom God is well pleased. It is a state of grace. So, I encourage you every day to do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself. If it is simply taking 3 deep breaths and to breathe out longer than you breathe in and clear your mind. There's some, I think this is one of the mudras for clearing your mind. Taking those deep breaths, holding your breath, breathe in, hold your breath, breathe in for 3, hold your breath for 3, breathe out for 4. Simple, easy, and give yourself that moment. Take 3 deep breaths like that. And then, what my goal is in this is to get you to create the habit, to create the first response, so that your default setting is kindness, compassion, love for yourself. Because if you can do it for yourself, you can do it for anybody. You create this amazing bank that anybody will have access to, of love, of kindness, of compassion, for yourself and for others. And when you meet people that need a little extra, you got it. You got it. You got it. And when things happen around you or to you, your response for yourself is love, kindness, and compassion. Because if you can do that, you can handle anything that happens. All right. So I also encourage you to engage your mind and your body. I have been to the gym today. There was much stretching and some lifting. And there were some fun things that I was like, I'm just pushing the bag, right? Okay. We've got some weather coming, so, get your sun while you can. Go get that early morning sun. It really does go a long way to resetting your hormones and to help you have more energy during the day and to sleep better at night. There's science behind my encouraging you to go get that 5-10 minutes of early morning sun. Drink plenty of water. And whatever else you do, open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you do live in heaven right here, right now. It is all around you. Because everything, every atom is made from spirit, of spirit, by spirit. So we want to look for the good and praise it. Because the more we look, the more we see, the more we see, the more there is. By looking for the good and finding it, it multiplies the good. And it multiplies it for you and everyone that you encounter. All right, beloveds. Share your good. Share your good, share your great. Tell me the good. Tell me one good thing about you. Whatever it is. Tell me one good thing. Because I know that there's so many more. All right. It is Wednesday. That is the Living Science of the Mind book study. If you're interested in that, email info@creativelife.org to get that Zoom link. It's done by a couple of practitioners. They're amazing. They're wonderful. And, take care of yourself. Do what you need to do. Make it a great day, an amazing day, a fantastic day, a wonderful day. I like enchanting day, an enchanting day, an awesome day, a good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day. But know who you are. Know that you're a beloved child of God. Always. Always. Know that you're loved. All right, so Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. with you on Facebook Live. I'll be back with you at 9 a.m. Catch us on the social medias. We are on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And I'm on 3 of the 4 as the Running Rev Ryan. But take care of yourself and know that you're loved. I'll see you next time.